All right. Welcome back to the Flying Doghouse. We're going to take our cross-country tour to the next leg here in North Carolina. So we're going to fly from Henderson, Oxford over to Elizabeth City. And we'll stop at our touch and go at Halifax, Northampton, Tri-County, and Northeast Regional. So we are going to do that in the Cessna 400. And we're going to go ahead and spawn over onto the runway at Henderson. And we'll get started. So here we go. All right, we're sitting at the end of the runway on runway 24 in Henderson. We're going to make our way over to Elizabeth City. Continuing on our North Carolina cross-country tour. We're going to do it today in the Cessna 400. It's a peppy little plane. And if you're looking for a cold and dark startup guide for this, check out the video on the channel. Otherwise, we're going to jump in the plane and get going. All right. So I've had several attempts at trying to record this one with the Flightsim.to not cooperating with me. So we'll see how this goes today. If you're not familiar with the aircraft, we'll talk a little bit about it while we're in flight, but go ahead and go through the camera angles here just real quick. Shift 1, Shift 2, Shift 3, 4, down to the floorboard, panel lights, 5 for the console, 6 for the largest fuel selector switch ever, 7 will put you off the left wing, 8 will get you off the right wing, 9 puts you back forward. So there you go. There are your built-in cameras. You can decide for yourself whether you need to make any adjustments or not. And I'm going to continue to use the mouse instead of using head tracking here. All right. Get ourselves all situated and ready to go here. Do a controls check. All right. I think we're in reasonably good working order here. All right, so let's go ahead and take our parking brake off and we'll get ready for our takeoff roll. And we'll come off the toe brakes. And we're doing this in the early morning. And up we go. No flaps. We don't have to worry about reeling those back in. And we jump outside the plane and we'll take a look at the airfield as we circle back around. And we'll come back off the throttle. Nice looking sunrise this morning. Here's the airfield. And we'll make our way over to the lake and follow that and the Roanoke River on across to Halifax. get ourselves set up here on a heading near the magenta line. Although we could swing a little bit to the northeast and track over the lake. A little bit anyway. Being a little bit more scenic. Yeah, this'll work. Alright. Get my autopilot configured here. Heading bug around. Put that about there. Altitude we'll use about 3,500 feet. Yeah, we'll put a 600 vertical speed rate here. All right, that'll get us situated, I think. And we are on our way. And we'll turn a little bit more to the north. Yeah, let's try that. All right, this is Kerr Lake. There's a huge reservoir. And maybe we can get through this flight without crashing the desktop. My level of aggravation with Flightsim 2024 has gone up exponentially over the last week or so. Just keeping it real. All right, what would you want to know about Kerr Lake State Recreation Area? Well, there's lots of fun things to do. There are hiking trails and boat ramps and fishing lakes. It's a 50,000 acre reservoir. So there's a visitor center and a bathhouse or bathhouses. And there's beach accesses for the lake. And I think there is an entrance fee charged per vehicle. But this is well worth the trip for some good scenery and peace and quiet. And we'll look out the pilot window here for a bit. It's simply gorgeous. Alright, so we've got about 137 on our airspeed. We'll push that up a little bit. And so far so good on the Logitech panels today. They seem to be working. And we seem to be in good shape here in terms of our engine operation. RPM looks good. It's toward the high end of the range, but that's fine. Manifold pressure HG's in well in the green, so that's good. Yeah, it's really interesting. I have noticed that sometimes the compass wheel that I have on here, sometimes it shows waypoints and sometimes it doesn't. It's like it has a mind of its own. Yeah, we'll go ahead and start our turn here, start tracking along the Roanoke River. And we'll make our way across over to Roanoke Rapids as another one of our navigational waypoints here. And we are in the northeastern Piedmont in North Carolina until we get to about Roanoke Rapids, and then I guess a good way of describing the easternmost part of the state really is sand hills, and then obviously you have the coast. There we go. Let's jump outside the plane. And there are also another whole set of general aviation locations we could have visited. But you can't do everything at once, right? Okay, airspeed about 154. Alright, so we're probably halfway between waypoint 1 and 2. And I set navigational waypoint 2 just to the northwest of Roanoke Rapids. So we'll continue to make our way across here. I'll look out the pilot window again. So in the next leg, I think what we'll do is we'll leave Elizabeth City and make our way over to Currituck and Pine Island, and then first flight, and then we'll make our way down the Outer Banks, and we'll either stop at Mitchell Field or Ocracoke. So that'll take us down the Outer Banks. And that is one of my favorite places to fly in the state. And I've done quite a few group flights in that area. At any rate, we are moving right along here. So Roanoke Rapids is in Halifax County in North Carolina, with roughly a 16,000-ish population. It is the largest community in Halifax County. And hot and humid, I guess, is a good way of describing summer. So mid 80s for an average Fahrenheit in the summer, which would be somewhere in the 28 to 29 range in Celsius. And summertime is rather rainy season, with frontal weather and then afternoon and evening thunderstorms. Sure, it's quite active. All right, we are coming in on Roanoke Rapids, probably another 8 miles out ish. Let's get the sun a little higher in the sky. There we go. Give ourselves a little bit better visibility. We've had an interesting winter here in the Carolinas. It's been quite cold. And we've had a bit of snow and ice as well. The lake is just gorgeous. Get ourselves turned here. Alright, so about 11 o'clock is Roanoke Rapids. And it won't take us long to get to our first touch and go, which is Halifax. Halifax Northampton Regional. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed today for no crash the desktop. And we'll get ourselves turned to the south. And I'm going to come off the autopilot. Slowing up some for our approach in. Wind 279 at 2 knots, so we will come in on runway 20. Runway 20. And I've got a visual on the airport. So we'll continue to slow up here and drop off some more altitude. So we'll do a right base here. And this airplane is quite slippery. It likes to maintain its momentum. And with all that horsepower in the composite material, it's not a surprise. And this airplane can be a little bit floaty. I'm trying to keep that in mind as we make our way in. I don't want to jinx this, but so far so good on the SIN this evening. Yep, there's our farmhouse. Like solar panels on the ground. Interesting. Solar farm. All right, making our way over here to the threshold. Nice and easy peasy. There we go, and then we'll throw our PM back up, back off the ground. And up we go. Our flaps up. And we will make our turn back to the east. On to Tri-County. And as fast as this airplane is, it will sneak up on you, so I'll try to be mindful on the route. Looks like we've got either a radio tower or a cell phone tower over here. And we'll give that a wide berth. And that's probably radio. Cell phone. Looks like it's over here off to our 3 o'clock. And there's a cool add-in over on Flightsim.to that you can get. It's Bush Talk Radio. So it does a number of cool things, points of interest being one. But also being able to listen to local radio stations in your vicinity. I have done a bit of that. So if that sounds intriguing, make your way over to Flightsim.to for that. Try to remember to drop a link in the description in the video, but you should be able to find that one in the Flightsim.to search. I have not tried it yet in 2024. Full disclosure, but it does work quite nicely in 2020. And we continue to work our way along the Roanoke River. So the other thing I wanted to point out during the flight was talking about the Halifax Resolves, if you're not familiar with that. It was a resolution that was adopted by the North Carolina Provincial Congress on April the 12th, 1776. And it was the first official action in the American colonies calling for independence from Great Britain during the American Revolution. And there are a couple of dates that are emblazoned on our North Carolina state flag, and April 12th, 1776 is one of them. So the Halifax Resolve was also presented to the Second Continental Congress and really acted as a catalyst for some of the other colonies to proceed with similar movement to declaring their intent of independence. So there you go. So there's some Google history fodder for you. Halifax Resolves, North Carolina. Well, there you go. Meanwhile, back in the cockpit, all right, we should be coming up on Tri-County here fairly quickly. And this one likes to sneak up on me, but similar runway orientation to the Halifax. Runway 19, I think. Yeah, 19 and 01. Again, winds now are 280 at 2. And I'm just drifting a little bit to the left of the magenta line to give ourselves some room for we'll do another right-hand circuit in. Yeah, this is one of my favorite liveries in the whole sim. This is just awesome stuff. And it matches the channel branding, so there you go. I really do have a whole lot of admiration and appreciation for folks who build us liveries. It takes all of the patience that I have for scenery construction. The livery stuff is just a whole nother ball game. We got a little bit of turbulence. Bouncing around a little bit. Well, we've got our airspeed and our altitude well managed again for this one, so that's good stuff. And use woodland here ahead of us as a navigational aid on the ground. Get over here almost to the town, and then we'll turn. And we'll go a little bit beyond. And if you are watching these North Carolina flights and you've got a favorite in North Carolina, drop that in the comments in the video. And again, our next leg we'll leave Elizabeth City, and then we'll go down the Outer Banks. We'll take a peek at the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. All right. Start getting ourselves woed up here. All right, we'll just drop ourselves down here and a little bit of a bump, and then we'll be off. All right, there we go. That'll work. And get some of this flap up. And we'll continue with another turn back to the east. All right. Okay, next stop, Northeast Regional. I think this is about a 33-mile leg here. Come back off the throttle here. And with this short hop, I'm not going to re-engage autopilot. We'll just continue to stick fly here. So you'd have corn being grown here, soybeans. Quite a lot of the agriculture in this area 50 years ago would have been still predominantly tobacco, which would have been cured and bundled and shipped and over to quite a few tobacco manufacturing companies that were based here in the Carolinas. In the Raleigh area, the Greensboro area, and also Winston-Salem. So that is gone, and we are healthier for it. Let's see here. There we go. Switch fuel here. Making our way across. All right, I'm gonna guess we're probably about 12 or 13 miles out now. And we'll have our touch and go at Northeast. And then we'll have a quick flight over to Elizabeth City, and that will be our stopover for the tour leg for the evening. So as far as future routes are concerned, I'm planning on making the way down to, I guess, Wilmington in the southeast corner of North Carolina, down near Myrtle Beach. We'll visit the airfield at in Wilmington, and also at Oak Island. It's coastal. I'll get it wrong. Anyway, there's a general aviation strip at Oak Island we'll stop at, and then we'll make our way back across. We'll turn to the northwest and then visit some of those other airfields. And we can do New Bern and Fayetteville and Goldsboro. And I'll try to mix in some we'll stay in GA planes, but I'll also mix in some of the air bases that are here. So that would give us Cherry Point, Seymour Johnson, Hope. And then we'll make our way across the southern Piedmont and then Charlotte. Then we'll make our way across over to Murphy. And that'll be several legs. That's quite a distance. And again, for those of you who have local knowledge, if you've got a favorite general aviation airfield, drop it in the comments. Okay, let's see. Oh gee, what a shocker. Runway 01 and 19. So we'll do 19 again. Give us about a 2-knot crosswind from 280. Turn out here and give ourselves a another right-hand circuit. We're also looking at doing some additional historic group flights in the DC3. Going to do some further exploration of the southeastern US, but we're also going to do some stuff in the UK. I'm looking forward to that. Doing here. Do need to burn off some altitude. We're not in bad shape. Kilo Echo Delta Echo is the ICAO code for Northeast Regional. And we'll just work our way over to probably about the 3/4 of the way toward the start of the feathers here for the ILS approach in. So we'll continue to track in that direction. And we should be in good shape for altitude now. As we continue to make our way over. Jump outside the plane again. Just taking a moment to admire some of the scenery. And we're in good shape in terms of our config. Better looking base leg here now. And we'll wait another 60 seconds or so before we start our turn. This should put us in good shape. Here we are. And we won't line ourselves up to land on the taxiway a la Harrison Ford. Just have ourselves a gentle touch and go here. And one of the things that always gives me a chuckle is folks getting in a hurry to get from A to B. Part of this is taking a look at what's in between A and B. You know, within reason. Just imagine all the fun we would have had we done this entire route in the Ford Tri-Motor. Although I am going to have to do I'll do a series of videos with the Tri-Motor. I love that airplane. It's great. It is not fast, but it is awful fun. That would have been one of the local legends. It's one of my favorites. on the virtual airline that I participate in. I did a tour, and I did the whole UK tour in the trimotor, and it was a ton of fun. People ask me why I did it in something that slow. It's like, well, I'm probably never going to get there in the real world. I wanted to have a look around. Alright, and we'll take her back up. Alright, I think we've got about 24 nautical miles. And we'll come back off the throttle and RPM here. And like I said, there are still some quirks and things going on with flight plans. Our magenta line has disappeared, but this heading right should get us to where we need to be. And at Elizabeth City, we'll come in on runway 10. And jump back in the plane. Mix it up a bit. This is Kilo Echo Charlie Golf, the Elizabeth City. Okay, we're in good shape as far as our altitude is concerned for this leg. Oh, looks like there's a wind farm over there to our 10:30/11 o'clock. And I am bringing us in so that I'll intercept the ILS feathers at the at their outer edge, but we'll do a visual in. And I probably don't spend enough time hyping it, but Little Nap is a great third-party tool. I use it for my flight planning purposes for group flights. And I use that to generate our PLN files for folks who are participating in those group flights. And it's freeware. I think I will add a link to that in the description below. If you haven't tried it, it's quite wonderful. Let's see what we want to do here. Yeah, that looks good. Maintain this heading here for about 2.5, 3 minutes. There we go. We'll go ahead and make our turn. That should get us settled out nice and early, which is what you want. And we'll start slowing down here. And get ourselves down under 100, and then we can drop some flap. Pull that nose up a little bit and bleed off some airspeed here. Negligible amount of climb taking place at this rate. Alright, so once we're down under the white arc, we'll go ahead and drop flap. Alright, there we go. I think we've got ourselves in landing in Fig. good shape. And we are easing our way over onto the localizer. Maybe a skosh high here, but that's okay. Let's make our way in. All right, got 1 red, 3 white. There we go. Got 2 and 2 now. Well, there's the Asobo Pine at the end of the runway. Hadn't killed all of them, Microsoft. Alright, we'll ease our way down here. And there we go. We're down. Oof. Make our way over to parking. All right. Well, welcome to Elizabeth City. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. Love to have you as a subscriber on the channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when we're up to things like this. And we will continue on with our trip over to the Outer Banks. Thanks for being along with the on the flight today. I hope everybody is keeping well. And until next time, cheers, y'all.